Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. My name is Inka, and if it's your first time stopping by, then you baby are most definitely welcome. Now in today's video, I'm going to be giving some tips on how to pass the Plab 1 exam. This video has been highly requested and people have come into my DMs to ask me questions about passing the Plab 1. So because I'm a nice person, I decided to come and share this with you guys, because what you guys know the motto for this channel: when I slay, we all slay, baby girl. That's it, period. Anyways, you guys know that I just moved from Nigeria to the UK as a doctor, so I want you guys to do the same, because I'm aware that quite a few doctors are following me and medical students as well. So if that's something that's on your radar, this video is definitely for you. The first thing you need to know about passing the Plab 1, I have my notes here guys because I wrote down a few points so I don't forget. But first thing that you need to know is the overview of the Plab exam. Now you need to know that before you pass the Plab exam, you need to have passed an English language exam, and there are two major English language exams that the GMC currently accepts. The first is IELTS, second is OET. So depending on you, your budget, your pocket, your personal circumstances, please pick one of them and pass that one. I personally took the IELTS, and a pass mark for the IELTS would be at least a band 7 in each component and a total band score of 7.5. So if your total band score is 9 and you have like a 6 in one of the components, then you didn't pass that exam, because you require at least a 7 in each component and a total band score of 7.5. I hope that that is as clear as can be. I don't really know the details about the OET because I didn't take that exam personally, but I know that it is more expensive than the IELTS, and people say it's a little less stressful to pass than the IELTS. So again, please do your research and pick the one that works best for you. Once you have done that, then you would go onto the GMC online website and input your details. Create a GMC online account, input your details, and book your Plab 1 exam. In Nigeria, the Plab 1 is written 3 times at the moment: in March, June, and in November. So you pick the one that you want in 3 different locations as well: Lagos, Abuja, and Enugu. So pick the date you want, pick the location you want, and get prepping. I personally used Plabable, and Plabable is an online resource. Really, it's like a subscription based resource. I paid £25 for 3 months subscription of Plabable, and that literally just like a question bank with lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of questions. So I would suggest that you aim to finish Plabable at least once, minimum twice if you can. If you have a lot of time on your hands, 3 times. Again, I would say this: the Plab exam is not really a difficult exam if you're being honest. If you went to a good enough medical school and you read according to the syllabus, guys, Plab is not the time for you to go and be opening a textbook trying to cram things. No, that's not the Plab exam. That's not the way it works. It's not the time that you go and start bringing your different textbooks, your biochem, your anatomy. No, don't do that. You're going to be wasting your time. You have to read smart, and you have to read smarter. Literally, don't waste your time doing that. You already have the basic knowledge because you went to a good enough medical school. So the foundation is really important here, if we're being honest. But again, it's not the time for you to go and bring all your textbooks, Grey's Anatomy, guiding, all of that. That's not the time, child. Just know what you need to read and read according to the syllabus. So again, I used Plabable. Plabable is a 3-month subscription. There's a 3-month option and a 6-month option. But again, I don't think you need the 6-month option, if I'm being honest, because again, the Plab exam is not that difficult. If you have some time on your hands and you have like a free period that you can use to study intensively, I would say that 4 to 6 weeks is enough for you to study, and study it well and be confident that you know the scope of the Plab exam. That is if you are not working, if you don't have family, if you are just free, if you are dedicating this period to studying for Plab, 4 to 6 weeks is okay. If you are mixing it with work or other things, work, family stuff, I would say maybe 8 to 12 weeks, because obviously you don't have as much time to study and, you know, pour into the exam at once as somebody who is just literally studying for the exam. So yeah, 4 to 6 weeks if you are studying solely for Plab 1, and 8 to 12 weeks if you are mixing it. I wrote my Plab 1 during my house job, and that's why I paid for 3 months subscription, because 3 months is 12 weeks. I was working, I mean, I was doing calls, I was stressed during that period, but I still aced the Plab 1 with just 3 months prep, if you know what I mean. So another thing you need to know about the Plab exam is that the way the questions are framed, the exam is 180 multiple choice questions exam. So there are multiple choice questions. It's not a theory exam. You're not going to be writing and explaining anything. You're not going to be defining anything. It's clinical scenario based more often than not. And the scenarios are long, my darling. The exam questions are long AF. So you need to be able to practice under timed conditions so that you don't spend too much time reading exam questions that you could have been using to answer the questions. And again, that's why Plabable is important, because when you start practicing with Plabable, then you will see that there are things called cinchers. So when they phrase the question in a certain way and you skim through the question and you find the cincher, then you already know what you are doing for the rest of the question. You don't need to spend so much time reading the exam, because 180 questions, 3 hours, it's not that long. So please maximize your time so that you can finish your exam, because finishing is important. Okay. Again, because I say this, the exam is not that difficult. I've been saying it, but you guys will be wondering why I'm saying it's not that difficult. The exam is designed for FY2s, and FY2s are foundation year 2 doctors who are literally people in their second year post graduation from medical school. Okay, it's designed for FY2s in mind. So that's to show you that it's not that different from what you've been doing. It's not that different from your regular medical school exams. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to pass the exam. Like I said, I wrote the exam during my house job, and I didn't even have up to 1 year experience working as a doctor before I wrote the exam. So don't go in with the mindset that it's a difficult exam, because truth of the matter is it is really not a difficult exam. Another point, of course, is that it's a very broad exam. So we're talking different specialties: psychiatry, rheumatology, gastroenterology, pathology, different specialties. So you need to be broad, again, which is where Plabable comes in, because with Plabable, all the questions are divided into specialties. So you have cardiology, you have endocrinology, you have pathology, you have rheumatology. It's divided that way, and it helps you understand things better when you're studying. Okay, you don't, again, now is not the time to be carrying textbooks, so don't do that, because you're going to be wasting your time. The pass mark varies from year to year, and it depends generally on the average performance that year. So if you wrote your exam in a year that everybody did well, best believe that the pass mark is going to be high, because you know the whole thing about standard deviation and all of that. That's how the pass mark is set. So there's not like a specific pass mark before you go and write the exam. It's after you've written the exam, then based on everybody's score, then a pass mark is set. So pray that the people that you're writing the exam with are not that, I mean, you have good enough knowledge to compete with them, because it's literally a competition amongst yourselves. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, now let's talk about how to prepare for the exam itself. I think I've pretty much mumbled this up, so it's not really compartmentalized. But again, like I said, 4 to 6 weeks if you are studying just for the exam, and if you're mixing it with other things in your life, 8 to 12 weeks would be fine. When I was writing my Plab exam, there was this past question, 1700. It was a must at the time, because it had like compilations of all the questions that had been over the years, you know, like the name implies 1,700. It's quite literally 1,700 questions thereabout. But the Plab exam has been tweaked recently, so 1,700 is not going to be a very relevant resource, which is why again I stress Plabable. You guys would think that Plabable is paying me at this point, but I can tell you that Plabable really did help me. And again, when I slay, we all slay, baby girl. So I'm trying to put you in on the tea. Plabable is definitely something I would recommend. 1,007, it also has a lot of not correct answers. 1,007, I mean. So I mean, I wouldn't waste my time with that. With Plabable, on the other hand, it will tell you the answer and tell you why that is the answer, and give you nice guideline links to where you can find and read about that topic to know the reason why that is the answer, just in case the questions are paraphrased, and you know, so that you can be able to answer it on your own. Do you know what I mean? So it's evidence-based answers, and it just helps your study process a lot more easier. If you want, you can also cross-check with Oxford Handbook of Clinical Medicine. That is a very good resource as well. It's very handy, very straight to the point. I'm sure if you went to medical school, you couldn't have possibly gone to medical school without Oxford Handbook of Clinical Medicine. So that is, you know, the book I'm talking about. The book knows you, you know the book. Everybody's happy. That book is also a really good resource, so you can just use that to cross-check the answers from Plabable if you want. But again, nice guidelines is definitely a place to be when you want to cross-check answers. So nice guidelines and Oxford Handbook of Clinical Medicine. Now, Facebook groups, Telegram groups are a must. Not necessarily that they're a must, but they just help you, you know, because you know that there are people that their blood is always hot, and those people are usually on those type of groups. And you know, when you find yourself slacking, or you find yourself not reading as hard as you can, and then you open your Telegram or you open your Facebook and you see 1,000 messages from this, it will make you think like, guy, my mates are reading and I'm here not reading. So it definitely helps for ginger. I wouldn't say that you should pay attention to the answers so much, but try to answer the questions as they are going on, like when they have tutorial sessions. I remember when I was writing my own Plab exam, the time used to be, I think, 9 to 10 p.m, like a 1 hour time of intensive answering question and answer sessions. So you will just like, somebody will be the moderator, put the questions on there, then people will drop their answers, and then the moderator will put the right answer at the end of, let's say, a 1 minute mark, when everybody should have put their answers down. Do you know what I mean? So it definitely helps to serve as a good ginger and like to push you to do what you're supposed to do if you need that extra push. Time yourself. Again, I already told you it's 3 hours for 180 questions, so it's not that much time. It's time enough for you to be able to answer the questions, but it's not that much time. If you find that you don't know the answer once, please skip that question and move to the next question. Don't be that person who sits on one question for 3 minutes. Don't be that person. Read the question, skim through. And again, there's a technique that you will learn as you start prepping for the exam, skimming. So just skim through the question, look for the cincher, like I told you guys. Skim through the question, look for the cincher. When you have that cincher, then if you don't know the answer from that cincher, my dear, just move to the next question so that you don't waste too much time. By the time you've gone through the exam once, the questions once, and then you have some more time, then you can go back to start answering the questions that you couldn't answer the first time. Now, this takes me to another point, which is the fact that you should have a default letter in your mind that you know that that's going to be the answer to any question you don't know. It increases your chances of passing the exam, because if you pick, for example, according to, I don't remember where I saw this, maybe YouTube or something, when I was studying sometime in medical school, it really does help. So if you go to write an MCQ exam, then I'm going to decide in my mind that any question I don't know, the answer is going to be C. You have a higher chance of getting those questions right, as opposed to mixing A, B, C, doing tumbum. It doesn't really help. Just pick one alphabet and say, any question I don't know, the answer is automatically C. Okay? okay? So yeah, again, with making educated guesses, because sometimes you may need to make an educated guess, you don't totally want to write C because you know that I want to make an educated guess, I know what the answer is likely to be, then please exclude the obvious ones first. So that's like this exclusion criteria. You know that this one is obviously wrong, please exclude those ones first, so that you know you can make a more educated guess, because then it will be like 50-50 chance, and then you know that okay, this is the answer, is either this or this, and you can make a more informed guess. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, try to answer all questions. Don't be leaving anything blank. It increases your chance of passing. As for Plab 1, you really don't need to attend an academy. Some people did attend academies to prepare for the exam, but again, I don't think it's totally necessary, because it's a multiple choice exam. It's not like it's a clinical exam. It's a multiple choice exam that you literally write with paper and pen. So if you read the things according to the syllabus, and you read the study material, then a course is not really necessary. But people attend courses, and again, Samsung course is one course that I totally vouch for, because their pass rate is really high. But again, I didn't attend any course, I still did very well in the exam. So really, it depends on you and how you think you can, you know, cope with the stress of the exam and everything. So yeah, I really do hope this video has been interesting and helpful, especially if you are thinking of writing the Plab exam. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.